early stages of inflation are very good for equities, right? Because equities are going to have pricing power, especially cyclicals. Think about energy, materials, industrials, technology. They've got the ability to grow faster than inflation. And I think the big risk is that investors aren't recognizing the inflation that's taking hold in the United States. It's not strong yet, but it's very widespread. We're seeing it everywhere. All the talk of tariffs. Well, tariffs equate to higher prices.
Low interest rates will keep demand for new housing high, both single and multifamily. Talked about interest rates staying low. Fantastic. But all that's doing is giving fuel to this fire of home prices, which are so high that even the CEO of Toll Brothers last week said some buyers are seeing sticker shock.
But I mean, I'm very much in agreement with the idea that the policy mix right now from the Trump administration is very much set up for inflation. Fiscal policy is obviously very expansionary. Monetary policy, particularly as it relates to bank regulations, is very certainly you want to increase the velocity of money as a result of that. Trade policies are somewhat inflationary.
Affordability challenges are really making it hard for people to get into these homes.
Right.
So it's just unsustainable, the rate of home price increases we've been seeing. If you go back to 2012, which was the bottom of home prices have accelerated at about 3 times the rate of income. So I think we need to see some of that momentum slow down, and I think it happens in 2020.
What's the reason for the rise in home prices? Just lack of inventory, or is it just way people are moving, or what's causing the surge in home prices?
Rates are really all about the trade war. And so, what's my expectation for the trade war? I don't think anybody has a clear picture. What I do think for rates, because we've had this 100-point decline since last year, it's difficult to see them declining again by a similar magnitude. I think we actually get a slight increase in rates.
We just showed a
chart.
Now, as chairman, he's been raising rates in tiny increments to control inflation. But the president thinks he's gone too far.
No, I think the Fed is making a mistake. They're so tight. I think the Fed has gone crazy. Jerome Powell is not making it easy. No, I have the right to remove. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. I have the right to also take him and put him in a regular position and put somebody else in charge.
This is what he tweeted first thing this morning. The Federal Reserve should get our interest rates down to 0 or less, and we should then start to refinance our debt. Interest costs could be brought way down, while at the same time substantially lengthening the term. So he's structuring our debt or restructuring our debt here. I guess it would take care of his deficit problem.
Yeah, it's pretty. I think this is the first time he's actually suggested that the Fed go to negative rates. There are some real questions among experts and commentators about whether the Fed could even legally do that.
The Fed should drop rates. I think they really slowed us down. There's no inflation. I would say in terms of quantitative tightening, it should actually now be quantitative easing. Very little, if any, inflation, and I think they should drop rates. Rate increases and quantitative tightening by the Federal Reserve since I won the election. 8 increases in total, which were, in my opinion, far too fast an increase and far too slow a decrease. Because remember, we are actively competing with nations who openly cut interest rates, so that now many are actually getting paid when they pay off their loan, known as negative interest. Who ever heard of such a thing? Give me some of that. Give me some of that money. I want some of that money. Our Federal Reserve doesn't let us do it. We have a gentleman that likes raising interest rates in the Fed. We have a gentleman that loves quantitative tightening in the Fed. We have a gentleman that likes a very strong dollar in the Fed. Can you imagine if we left interest rates where they were? There's no inflation, essentially. There's no inflation. Can you imagine if we left interest rates where they were? If we didn't do quantitative tightening? But I think the Fed is far too stringent, and they're making a mistake, and it's not right. And it's, despite that, we're doing very well, but it's not necessary, in my opinion. And I think I know about it better than they do.
The reason is interest rates have gone up because our Federal Reserve is raising rates too fast because they think our economy is too good. And I say, I don't want you to, every time we announce a good quarter, you have to raise interest rates. I don't want that. I'm very unhappy with the Federal Reserve. You know, I happen to like low interest rates. You want to know the truth. He sees our economy as being so strong, so powerful that he keeps raising interest rates. I don't like that. I'm not thrilled because, we go up, and every time you go up, they want to raise rates again. And I don't really, I am not happy about it.
Does the President of the United States ever call you with any advice, or you don't realize did President Trump ever call you, or President Biden ever call you, or?
Well, I think it's a matter of public record that President Trump did used to call me from time to time.
Okay. What did he call you?
No, I haven't had that kind of, I haven't gotten any calls from President Biden.